I knew that this was the field for me when we did a production many years ago, back in the early 90s in San Antonio with the production. And it was called Chorus Sons, written by Nita Pittman and Barbara Hudson. And it was about, these brothers who hadn't spoken to each other, in about 20 years, because of all this family drama. And after the show, a gentleman walked up to us in the lobby area, and he said, I have a brother that I have not spoken to in 17 years, but because of this play, I'm going home to call him tonight. And that right there, that was a very pivotal moment for me, because I said, this is exactly where God wants me to be.
Welcome back to The Fade, the podcast about everything Fade to Black 2025. I am sitting here with our wonderful guest, Mr. Curtis, the Vaughn. What's up, man? Good to have you here. Good to have you here, my brother. Yeah. Please, show me some love. Show me some love. So, Mr. Curtis, if anyone who is not familiar with you or your work or your legendary status in the city or your resume, please enlighten the people of who you are, what's your name, where you're from, what you do, and just give us a little background.
All right. This part is always hard for me because I don't like to sound braggadocious, but the Lord has been good to me. I'm Curtis Vaughn. I was raised in Studewood by way of Fifth Ward. Yeah, off there north, I've been in the acting business now for a good little while. Probably close to 30 years. I've been very blessed and fortunate to make a living. Living my passion.
Amen.
And I call this ministry, and that's something I always tell everybody. I don't care if it's...
Straight to hell. You got to be born again. Jesus said, unless a man be born again, he cannot come into the Father.
I don't care if it's drama, if it's comedy, acting is ministry, and I'm very serious about it. For the 2 hours, however long that production is, people are coming to see you, and you're taking them away from whatever problems they're going through. So, yeah, I let actors know that if you doing this as a hobby, don't work with me.
That I think that's another story for another podcast. The acting as a hobby. I'm gonna write that down. We're gonna talk about that later. But in general, just what is your capacity or history with Fade to Black, and how do you view Fade to Black, and what does it mean to you? Like, what is that thing for you?
Denise will probably think that she's paying me to say what I'm about to say. But no, Fade to Black is an incredible vehicle. Agreed. I love it. There's nothing out there like it. I was first introduced to Fade to Black, I believe it was maybe after the third year of its inception, and I was blown away by what I saw. And so a few years after that, I was approached by Lionel Hilliard. I think this was 2018, to direct a piece that he had wrote for Fade to Black called Orange is the New Black, which is, it was a barbershop scene, and it was a brother that was in the barbershop scene that was for Donald Trump, which is where the orange come from.
That's just so typical.
What do you mean by that, brother?
If you read the story, you see that the vote hasn't been defeated, just delayed, but it's so typical for black folks to conveniently take a media headline and twist it into something seemingly worthy of a victory lap.
Brother, come on, man. What side are you on? The Democrats or the Republicans?
Well, I'm a free thinker.
Man, you sound like a Trump supporter. Don't
You tell me. Well, option. I am one.
Can you believe this? I knew something was strange about him when he first started coming in.
But yeah, so that was an incredible experience. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And then a few years after that, I performed in two pieces. I think that was 2022. And then last year, I've submitted a work.
Yo, And yo, tonight's the night that I'ma get twisted. Mix Moscato and vodka.
Are you sure it's okay for us to be here? I don't want any problems.
I told you, he's out of town. And plus, we're legally separated.
You Does he come over, and if so, how often?
You are really killing the mood.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to, baby, but I had a friend that got caught up in a similar situation like this.
Are they still together?
No. He's dead.
What? Yeah. What happened?
Yeah. Thank you. Her ex popped up, heard them making out as he stood at the door, kicked the door in, and blew his head off.
Oh my God, really?
No, he choked on a strip of bacon, but still, it could have happened.
You play too much.
Well. What do we have here? No invite?
Robert, what are you doing here?
I got back into town sooner than I expected. Thought I could take you out to dinner, see if we could talk things over, but it seems I may be a little too late. Aren't you gonna introduce me to your friend?
Yeah, this is
Hey, I'm Quinn. Oh, nice to meet you. Oh, you must be Robert. I heard so much about you. Girl, you right, he is fine, okay?
Yes, Quinn.
Yeah.
This is Quinn.
I just swung by to see if she could help me with a few things for my drag show this weekend.
Oh, I guess that's why you're standing here damn near naked.
Oh, and I'm totally embarrassed, Bobby. May I call you Bobby?
No, you may not.
Ooh, well, Robert it is. He's a serious one. I like that.
Making me the first trifecta, you know.
Ah, I see.
Director, writer, and
so we got
actor,
some more
you
fake
know.
black history sitting right here, huh? I'm not jealous, but I'm just proud. I'm proud.
Get your writing on, B-More. Get your writing on. You can do it, man.
I was talking to Mr. Balance earlier, and I was like, I probably should, take a stab at it. But like you said, you just got to write. But I said, I'm worried because I don't know what the people might say.
Brandon, you have about 24 characters at the least living in your head. I'm sure you can get something out.
I believe that. I'm sure one of them could say a lot of things.
I mean, may not be able to say it on PG, but
that's why we got theater, right? That's why we got theater. So, Curtis, just give us some background into you as the artist and person, and like what theater means to you. I know you said it's ministry and it's a passion, and you take it on with all full force. But like, what does just being an artist mean? Because like you said, you're a multifaceted artist, right? You've written, you've directed, you've acted. So how does that play out for you as a lifestyle?
Well, first of all, I'll take you back to the beginning. I didn't get involved into acting until I was an adult. I took it in high school because I had to have an elective, and I wasn't doing choir, right? So I took acting, but I didn't take it seriously. I was over at Sam Houston High School, and I remember Mr. Carroll, theater teacher, was always trying to get me involved in UIL competitions because he saw something in me I didn't see in myself, and I gave this man such a hard time. I'm not doing it, bro. I just want to play football, and I got to have this elective, right? And so coming out of high school, got hurt playing football, couldn't play anymore, and I had no idea what I wanted to do with my life. Like, what can replace this rush, And so my cousin, Deborah Atkins, has a production company called Acting Together as One. Excuse me, Working Together as One. And she was always approaching, family members about being in those skits, and so I was always like, nah, that's not for me. And a young lady talked me into it one year. I went to the rehearsal, learned this guy's part overnight, and replaced him. He was missing rehearsals, and from there, man, I was sold. And so ran into a childhood friend. After that, they were rehearsing for a play at Texas Southern University, and I say, tell him I'm an actor. I did one skit. I'm an actor. And so they invited me to the rehearsal. The lead role, same thing. He wasn't committed. I took the script home in one night and memorized his part, came back, and they let him go. And so from there, I'll say my legend was born. I really didn't think that it was, anything big, because I thought that's what you did as an actor, as far as memorizing the script in one night.
I don't mean to cut you off or interject because this story is getting good, but I just have to say, just based off experience, like, that is a legend of Curtis Vaughn. Like, man, I'm telling you, Curtis, the way Curtis, you learn them lines, man, is amazing. Like, I mean, quickly and efficiently. Like, we just closed the show, like, at the top of last year. And, I mean, Curtis was off book within 2 weeks of like rehearsal.
See,
like,
that's because I'm getting older.
lines.
See how it went from overnight to 2 weeks.
You know,
now it's 4 weeks.
I'm just saying, though, man, it is a revered skill. Like it's a revered part of the job. And I must just say, like you definitely got that superpower in your pocket, man.
I'm asked a lot, how do I do it? And I'm not any smarter than anybody else, I don't think. It's my commitment and my dedication. And so I tell, especially our younger generation, I tell them all the time, you get out of it what you put into it. You know, you have to be dedicated. If I go get my feet done, I have my script with me. You know, my script is in the passenger seat. If I go out to eat, by myself, my script, so it's dedication, and so a lot of people like to cut corners. When I'm directing my plays, I tell actors all the time, hey, don't let me see you on social media all day and all night, and then you come to rehearsal and you're holding your script in your hand. You know what I'm saying? Like that drives me crazy because it's about commitment, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's how I got involved and started touring around with different productions. Mr. Malonson, I know he was your last guest. I had the privilege of touring his production, Diary of a Black Man, How Do You Love a Black Woman? I think I toured with that for like 10 years. We went all up in Toronto, Canada with that production. And then, excuse me, as far as my own productions, that was just always a fear that I can't write. This dialogue for these characters, and until God put me in a situation to where he forced it out of me. And so I was like, okay, yeah, I can do this, So even today, I don't write as much as I need to because he gives me great ideas all the time, but it's starting to get there. So I have like maybe 8 productions now.
Okay, that you have written.
Mm-hmm.
Have they all been produced? Or?
Not all of them. I have toured my production, Only God Can Judge Me. I've toured that around Texas and throughout Louisiana. Just As I Am, the same. I have a youth production that I have under my nonprofit. It's Life Camera Action. The youth production is called Hey Young World, Wake Up, which addresses peer pressure, bullying, gang violence, teen suicide, and abstinence. And so we're about to do something with that. I have an all-male production that I'm writing called In My Father's Image. And then I have a production that I wrote like 7 years ago that I still have not put out called Killed, Dying Laughing. So we're trying to get that out for 2024.
Okay. So in general, just give me some general fade to black isms. What are some of your favorite moments of being involved with Fade to Black?
Okay, so what's funny, my freshest moment is, so I had my first play that I submitted to Fade to Black for 2023 that was selected, which is called The Dilemma, right? So I was doing a stage play at the Ensemble Theater right across the street from where the festival was being held at the Match Theater. And it was the same weekend. And I was like, Denise, I'm not gonna get an opportunity to see my play, right? So I was like, I was upset about that. And I started looking at the time frame. Denise, when does my play fall in the lineup? Well, your play is going to be, I think, number 3, I believe. So I said, okay, so now I'm doing the math right in my head. And the production that I was doing at the Ensemble, I was going to be off stage for a long period of time. So I brought my electric scooter. And as soon as I came off stage at the Ensemble, kids don't try this at home. I wanted to see my production so bad.
You scooted on across.
I scooted across the street in wardrobe. I say, Lord, don't let me fall. Got over, saw my production, and was able to get back over to the theater with like maybe 45 minutes to spare before I hit the stage again. But that was hilarious. But that's how committed I was to seeing not just my piece, but just being a part of it in some way, somehow. Because again, this what Denise and her team are doing with this festival is something that a lot of people probably won't want to see again, but they probably will, because I'm sure there are going to be a lot of copycats out there, And I don't even look at that as a bad thing, anything that gives black playwrights the opportunity to have their works put on and produced,
it's not a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing at all.
Not at all.
You know, so it's room for everybody. But she definitely is the pioneer of this in Houston, and you know, I can't say enough great things about it. So that's my freshest memory of what dedication and commitment looks like.
I have no complaints there. I probably would do the same thing because I've done two shows, 2 rehearsals in one day, so I don't mind. Like, hey, let me just pack up here, go there. As soon as I'm done, I'm back in the place.
We do what we do, you know, within reason, man, and it's all about passion. You know, that's what it is. You know, I remember a gentleman told me, your passion is anything that you'll be willing to do for free. That don't mean do it for free. But that's how much you love it, you know, especially once you see. I knew that this was the feel for me when we did a production many years ago, back in the early 90s in San Antonio with the production, and it was called Chorus Sons, written by Nita Pittman and Barbara Hudson, and it was about, you know, these brothers who hadn't spoken to each other, you know, in about 20 years, you know, because of all this family drama. And after the show, a gentleman walked up to us in the lobby area and he said, I have a brother that I have not spoken to in 17 years, but because of this play, I'm going home to call him tonight. And that right there, that was a very pivotal moment for me, because I said, this is exactly where God wants me to be. And so in that moment, it became my passion.
I agree.
And so it's like everything from that point that I was a part of had to do with reconciliation of the family, you know, things like that, healing, you know. And so I always keep those types of things in mind when I'm writing. Like I write like I'm an audience member. Like I'm watching the piece, you know, what do I need that's going to be so profound that's going to cause me to think or start a conversation? So I'm always writing something that's going to be a lesson, you know, where people can maybe see themselves on stage. And so that's why I tell my actors, hey, this is ministry. If you're not serious about it.
I truly agree with that. It's something symbiotic about like just being in the theater as an audience member or as an actor, and once that show is over, you know, you're able to talk to the audience and like they just tell you like how their life has been changed or touched. Like that's an out of body experience, you know. Like when people see theater or see an actor and they're not like an avid, you know, theater goer or watch a lot of plays or just there's a disconnect there of like, oh, you know, well, what should I get out of going to see that show? But you know, as an actor, you know what you're giving and you know how you can like touch people like deeply, and sitting there as an audience member, like you're very taken aback in those moments when you are just touched by just watching what's happening and unfolding in front of you. So I totally agree with that. Totally agree with that. You know, Curtis, I always say, man, like, I've known you for a while. I've listened to your stories. I've listened to like your journey, and I must say, like a lot of it is the same. Like I can say that I run a lot of parallels in my own life with you, man. You know, when we in our dressing room, I tell Curtis he my uncle. You know, like my uncle. So I totally hear everything you say. Like running parallels, even the way like the journey begins. You know what I mean? Like I didn't do much theater in high school at all. I was, you know, just the rambunctious, mischievous.
We know, we know, Brother Brandon. We know, but I've even learned things from you. You know, performing with you, especially when we did Paradise Blue over at the Ensemble Theater. You infectious, man. You know, loud at times, but infectious. And I was constantly having to tell Brandon, people in the theater can hear us, man. They can't hear me. Until somebody in the audience told him, I heard your laugh backstage.
That is a true story.
You know,
somebody texted me from in the audience and was like, are you back there laughing? And I was like, oh my gosh.
You know, but just the way that you attack, you know, your characters, man, you know, I love it. And it's so effortlessly, you know, and so, you know, and that's what I tell younger actors also, like, you want to be around people that you can learn from. You never get too old to learn. When you get to a point to where you feel can't nobody tell you anything, you too close-minded, then your growth stops, And so it's okay to take pieces from here and from there. I mean, that's how you get better. Not to emulate that person, but just whether it's the work ethic, or again, the way that you study your background on a character, things like that. There's always things that you can learn to elevate your game. I mean, we evolve. This world evolves, and if you don't, then you're gonna get left behind.
Yeah,
that's right.
I agree with that, man. Like, I'm eternally grateful for Fade to Black itself, because not just the work that it has allowed me to do, but like the people that I've met, people like you, Errol, Mr. Milan-san, Corey, Tim Dixon, Lionel, like all of these people I have met through the process of Fade to Black and in those circles, and I've gained so much personally, just stories and knowledge and the way to craft your career, the things you should do. You hear about what other people had to endure, what they don't endure, what they won't do anymore. It is really put me on a better path than I would have been on without Fade to Black. I can honestly say that. So I'm grateful. I'm so grateful.
And the arts does that, period. I was showing Corey and Errol pictures in my phone back from the late 1990s, the early 2000s. I met those brothers during a movie shoot back in the 1990s, man, and we're still as close as brothers today. That's what the arts do, man. It's a family.
It is.
It really, really is. And so a lot of my lifelong friendships were created in the arts.
I agree with that.
So it's just great that they carried over to Fade to Black. So that's why Fade to Black won't go wrong, because just the body of people, that have
I can attest to that.
Yeah.
There are some real figureheads or fixtures that are of what you would assume to be the Houston theater scene, or the people who are in, I don't want to say just in control, but very active in that theater scene. You know what I mean? Yeah, and those are truly the people who are in place as far as the making the machine, decision making of Fade to Black, and you just can't go wrong. When you got people like Miss Dupree and Errol Anthony Wilkes around, how can you go wrong?
And this will be something that I'll see that we're going to see, whether it's in our lifetime or not. This will definitely be passed down, through generations. Because just the way that I'm seeing our younger artists being cultivated, into this, so they can take the baton, and continue going forward.
I totally agree with that. I hope in 10, 15 years, when I'm, off doing my Broadway or movies or Hollywood or commercials, whatever that is, Denise will bring me back for the play festival so I can teach some workshop classes or something. So, just putting that out there for you, Denise, in case you didn't know, work begets more work, right?
Look, I tell you what, bring her some investors. She got you.
Hopefully I could be one of those investors.
Absolutely.
Hopefully, the Lord allows us to put enough padding in our pockets to where we can, pad enough out, So
pay it forward, man.
Pay it forward. Speaking of paying it forward, I'm glad that's a good segue.
Like a segue?
Well, I like what you do there. I like how you do that. So for Fade to Black, we have this thing we like to call fade it forward, right? Almost as pay it forward. So in the idea of that, I need you to impart some advice, right? Or direction or a critique or anything to any artist out there in the world. Also, in the same breath, also let us know, what are things that really just kind of aggravate you that people shouldn't do in the arts? Or
let me look in this camera right here.
Yeah, you can look right there.
Let me look right here in this camera.
Go
right
fade
here.
it forward for us one time.
So, I'm gonna give you 2 words: dedication and commitment. They will take you a long way in this business. The acting community is really small. From here to Hollywood, from here to Atlanta, it is really, really small. So word gets around when you are not dedicated and committed. And what I mean by that is, if you know that your schedule is too busy to allow you to make rehearsals and be on time to rehearsals, do not, I repeat, do not waste your time and anybody else's time auditioning for a production just to see if you have it. Because that will get you banned from the theater community for life. For someone to cast you only for you to tell them, oh, well, I have this, I have that, I have this. Don't do it. If you know you don't have the time, do not do it, okay? And to piggyback off of that, once you get into production, professionalism, always. Get off book immediately. Get off book. And, you know, the theater is probably one of the most team-oriented professions outside of sports. It's team-oriented, which means that everybody is dependent on you. Their chemistry has to be just right. Their trust has to be right. You know how Magic Johnson used to come down the court and throw that no-look pass to Worthy because he knew he was there? That's what we do as actors. That trust that we have in our co-actor, we know, even if a line is dropped, because we all human, right? If a line is dropped, you know, me and my brother Brandon had an experience on stage once. You know, well, Brandon got caught up in the cosmos. He didn't know where he was, right? I saw this look in his eyes, and I was like, and so I had to throw that assist. He didn't want it, you know, but I had to throw that. But that's what we do. You know, we become our brother's keeper, our sister's keeper, and only in those types of situations, because anything can go wrong. You know, your mic can go out. You know, anything can happen. That's the beauty of live entertainment, live performances. Anything can happen. It's how you respond to what happens, and that only comes with experience. That only comes with being prepared, being ready for anything to happen. And so if you're on top of your game, the audience will never know. They'll never know. So dedication and commitment, those two things will take you a long way.
Those are some real fading it forward. You faded it like all the way forward to today. Like, I don't think you can go any further.
Like I faded.
Boosie fade. Boosie fade. Maybe the shag in the back a little bit. Yo, Curtis, thank you, bro. It's always a pleasure to see you and talk to you. I can see and talk to you about 40 more minutes, but I know, you know.
Hey, man, that'll be part two.
We might not put that one on the internet. We got some stuff to talk about, man.
No doubt.
So, yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you for stopping by Fade to Black. You know, the Fade. This is what we do.
Thank y'all for having me,
all things Fade to Black 2025. Is there anything before we go that you would like to see or impart or hope that we get to see for 2025?
Everything in its totality, everything. You know, I'm excited about the entire process of everything, all the hard work that's being put into it to make sure that this is going to be the most memorable festival ever. You know, so I'm looking forward to all the different genres of entertainment that are going to coexist in these different spaces, and the theater community is really, really excited. You know, the buzz is already out there. You know, so that's what I'm ready to see.
Cool. Well, once again, thank y'all for stopping by the Fade, Everything Fade to Black 2025. This is our wonderful guest, Curtis the Vaughn, Thee.
Like the stallion, making the stallion. We related.
Curtis the Vaughn. And once again, and also special thanks to Stages Repertory Theater for allowing us to use their space and also being involved in our programming for 2025. So thank you, Stages, and Ken McLaughlin and everyone here and involved. And once again, we will see y'all next time. Corey, cut that out. Corey, cut that out.